Plants speak a language our soul recognizes, but our mind long forgot. Close your eyes for a moment. Have you ever felt that unexplainable feeling when you step into an old garden, that shiver down your spine when you get close to a centuries-old tree, or maybe that deep peace that fills your chest when you breathe in the scent of a rose in full bloom? Subscribe to the channel and leave a like to get access to more stories like this. This is no coincidence. It's not just nostalgia or romanticizing nature. It's something much deeper and more revolutionary than you imagine. There's an ancestral communication happening between you and the plant kingdom, a silent conversation that can literally transform the energy of your soul and your home. Today, you're about to discover knowledge that remained hidden for decades, revealed by one of the greatest mystics in modern history. A secret about 7 specific plants that have the power to harmonize your soul, clear negative energies from your home, and connect you to higher frequencies of consciousness. But before we dive into this transformative journey, I need to ask you a crucial question. Have you ever felt spiritually fragmented? Like pieces of your essence are scattered across the world, and you can't feel whole in your own home anymore, as if something invisible is draining your life energy every day? To find these answers, we need to travel back in time to Virginia Beach, in the year 1935. Imagine a simple white wooden house with windows that capture the golden light of dusk. Inside, an ordinary-looking man with dark hair combed to the side is lying on a navy blue fabric sofa. His eyes are closed, his breathing slow and deep. This man is about to access information that would forever change our understanding of the relationship between plants and human consciousness. This is Edgar Cayce, known as America's sleeping prophet. For 4 decades, between 1901 and 1944, Cayce performed over 14,000 documented psychic readings, entering a deep trance state to access information from a source he called the Akashic Records, a cosmic library containing all universal knowledge. Cayce wasn't an eccentric mystic or a carnival charlatan. He was a devout man, a professional photographer, and a Sunday school teacher, who accidentally discovered his gift during a laryngitis bout that left him voiceless for months. When no doctor could cure him, a local hypnotist suggested he try to diagnose himself in a trance state. The result was miraculous. Cayce not only recovered his voice, but discovered he could access accurate medical information about anyone, even thousands of miles away. His readings were so accurate that doctors of the time began consulting him for complex cases. The Cayce Hospital was established, and his recommendations saved countless lives. But what few know is that, besides medicine, Cayce received profound information about spirituality, reincarnation, archaeology, and the mystical power of plants. In Cayce's readings, plants weren't just biological organisms. They were conscious beings capable of energetically interacting with the human soul. He revealed that certain plants functioned as spiritual transmitters, capable of raising the vibration of an environment and facilitating expanded states of consciousness. If you subscribe to the channel now and leave a comment telling us which room in your house you feel needs more spiritual harmony, you'll be part of a community of people who are rediscovering this ancestral knowledge to transform their lives. And if you like this video, you help more people find this transformative wisdom. But what exactly will you gain by applying the teachings I'm about to reveal? The promise isn't just decorative or aesthetic. It's a complete energetic transformation of your spiritual reality. First, you'll experience what Cayce called soul harmonization, a state where your spiritual essence is no longer fragmented or dispersed, but integrated and centered. Imagine waking up every morning feeling exactly where you should be, that your home is truly your sanctuary, and that every room breathes peace and purpose with you. Second, you'll learn to create what the ancients called a sacred space, not through complex rituals or expensive objects, but through the conscious presence of specific plants that function as antennas for higher spiritual frequencies. Your home will become a field of positive energy that protects you from negative external influences. Third, you'll discover how certain plants can facilitate natural states of meditation and spiritual insight. We're not talking about psychoactive plants, but common species that, when consciously placed, create energetic fields that calm the mind and open the heart to deeper perceptions. Fourth, you'll understand how to transform specific problems in your life: insomnia, anxiety, feelings of spiritual emptiness, difficulty meditating, sensations of heavy energies at home, through the practical application of this ancient knowledge validated by Cayce's visions. And finally, you'll connect with a lineage of wisdom that links ancient cultures from Egypt, India, Atlantis, and Native American traditions. All of them recognized plants as conscious allies in human spiritual development. The promise here isn't instant magic, but genuine transformation through conscious relationship with plant intelligences that are all around us, awaiting our attention and respect. Now, prepare for a journey through time and space. Not an ordinary trip, but an exploration guided by Edgar Cayce's expanded consciousness through different eras and civilizations that deeply understood the spiritual power of plants. Imagine you're next to Cayce in that Virginia Beach room. Your consciousness is expanding, transcending the limits of linear time. You're about to visit 7 unique moments in human history, each revealing a sacred plant and its specific powers to harmonize the soul. Our first stop takes us to ancient Egypt, about 3,000 years before Christ. Visualize the temples of Karnak bathed in the golden light of dawn. You can smell the incense in the air and hear the chants of priests echoing through the stone corridors. Here, in the sacred temple gardens, we'll discover the first plant of our consciousness mandala, a species the Egyptians considered a direct portal to higher spiritual realms. From there, our consciousness transports us to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon in the 6th century BC. The air is fragrant with exotic flowers, and you can hear the gentle murmur of water flowing through the elaborately built canals. Among these architectural wonders, we'll find the second sacred plant, a species the Babylonians used to purify environments of negative energies and facilitate prophetic visions. Our third journey takes us to the sacred mountains of Tibet, where ancient monasteries rise like silent sentinels among the snowy peaks. The air is thin and crystal clear, and the silence is so deep you can hear your own soul breathing. Here, in the Lama's medicinal gardens, we'll discover a plant that harmonizes the chakras and facilitates deep states of meditation. The fourth stop transports us to the primordial forests of North America, long before the arrival of Europeans. You're surrounded by centuries-old trees, and the forest floor is covered by a soft carpet of leaves and moss. The air is filled with the ancestral wisdom of native peoples, who intimately knew the spiritual properties of each plant. Here we'll find a species they used for communication with nature's spirits. Our fifth journey takes us to the Zen gardens of feudal Japan, where every plant is positioned with mathematical precision to create perfect harmony between the physical and spiritual worlds. The gentle sound of a bamboo fountain sets the rhythm of contemplation, and you can feel the profound serenity emanating from these sacred spaces. Here we'll discover a plant that balances masculine and feminine energy. The sixth stop transports us to the secret gardens of European monasteries during the Middle Ages, where devout monks cultivated plants not only for physical medicine, but for soul healing. The scent of medicinal herbs blends with the distant sound of bells, creating an atmosphere of devotion and mystery. Here we'll find a plant that connects the human heart with divine consciousness. Our final journey takes us to the mythical Atlantis, as described in Cayce's visions, an advanced civilization that deeply understood the connection between consciousness, energy, and the plant kingdom. Here, in crystal gardens bathed in a light that seems to come from within the plants themselves, we'll discover the seventh and last species of our sacred mandala, a plant that integrates all other elements into a harmonious symphony of consciousness. Now that our consciousness has traveled through these temporal dimensions, it's time to reveal the specific secrets Edgar Cayce discovered about each of these 7 sacred plants. What he saw in his visions were not just decorative plants, but true spiritual technologies, each with a unique frequency capable of influencing specific aspects of the human soul. The first plant that emerges from the mists of time is the peace lily, or spathiphyllum, as we know it today. Cayce saw this plant in Egyptian temples, where priests called it the flower of Isis, due to its ability to purify environments of dense energies and facilitate communication with higher spiritual planes. But what Cayce discovered about the peace lily goes far beyond its ornamental beauty. In his visions, he observed how this plant functions as an etheric transmitter, capable of absorbing negative frequencies from the environment and transforming them into neutral energy. The ancient Egyptians placed pots of peace lilies in the corners of temples, creating an energetic field that protected sacred rituals from unwanted spiritual interference. Consider for a moment, how many times have you come home after a stressful day and felt like you were carrying a heavy cloud around you? The peace lily acts exactly on this invisible, energetic layer that we accumulate through our daily interactions. Cayce saw that this plant possesses etheric structures, subtle energy fields, that function like filters, literally cleaning the psychic atmosphere around it. The second revelation transports us to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, where we discover the African violet, St. Paulia Ionantha. The Babylonians considered it sacred to Ishtar, the goddess of love and intuition, because its delicate flowers had the power to open the heart chakra and facilitate states of deep compassion. What Cayce revealed about the African violet is truly extraordinary. This small plant, with its velvety leaves and vibrant flowers, emits a specific frequency that resonates with the energetic center of the human heart. In Cayce's visions, he observed how people who kept African violets in their homes naturally developed a greater capacity for forgiveness, empathy, and unconditional love. But there's something even deeper. Cayce saw that the African violet functions as a bridge between the emotional and spiritual worlds. When placed in the bedroom or living room, it facilitates the resolution of unresolved emotional conflicts, allowing repressed feelings to come to consciousness in a gentle and healing way. From the sacred mountains of Tibet emerges our third plant ally, the Sansevieria, popularly known as snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue. Tibetan lamas called it the guardian of the portals due to its unique ability to protect environments from negative energies while simultaneously elevating the spiritual vibration of a space. What Cayce discovered about the Sansevieria defies our conventional understanding of plants. In his visions, he observed that this species has a vertical energetic structure that functions as a spiritual antenna, channeling cosmic energy directly into the home environment. Tibetan monks placed Sansevierias at the entrances of their temples because they created an energetic barrier that prevented the entry of low vibrations. Even more fascinating is Cayce's discovery about the Sansevieria's spiritual circadian rhythm. During the night, when our consciousness is more receptive to subtle influences, this plant intensifies its energetic activity, creating a protection field around the environments where we sleep. It's like having a silent guardian watching over our vulnerability during sleep. From the primordial forests of North America, ancestral spirits reveal the fourth sacred plant, the pothos, Epipremnum aureum. Native American peoples considered it a medicine plant for the soul, capable of clearing energetic traumas and facilitating journeys of deep spiritual healing. Cayce saw something extraordinary about the pothos. Its hanging vines not only grow physically, but also extend etherically, creating a network of healing energy that permeates the entire environment. Native shamans used pothos in purification ceremonies, hanging its vines around sacred spaces to create a circle of protection and healing. What makes the pothos even more special is its ability to absorb and transmute stagnant emotional energies. Cayce observed that people who had suffered significant traumas or losses experienced a natural process of emotional healing when they kept a pothos in their homes, especially if the plant was positioned where it could energetically touch the space where the person spent the most time. Now you might be asking yourself, is all this just mysticism, or is there some scientific basis for these claims? The answer will surprise you. Modern science has not only confirmed many of Cayce's visions about plants, but has discovered even more fascinating mechanisms that explain how this plant-human communication truly works. Revolutionary studies in the field of plant bioacoustics, conducted by Dr. Daniel Chamovitz of Tel Aviv University, revealed that plants not only respond to environmental stimuli, but also emit specific frequencies that can influence the human nervous system. When Cayce spoke about plants transmitting energy, he was describing a phenomenon that science now calls interspecies bioacoustic communication. Research published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology in 2019 demonstrated that the presence of certain plants in indoor environments significantly reduces cortisol levels, the stress hormone in human occupants. Even more fascinating, the study showed that different plant species have specific effects. Some promote relaxation, others increase concentration, and some facilitate natural meditative states. Dr. Roger Ulrich, a pioneer in research on healing environments, documented how the presence of specific plants in hospitals accelerates the process of physical and emotional healing in patients. His studies show that patients exposed to certain plants exhibit reduced blood pressure, improved sleep quality, and a significant decrease in the need for pain medication. But perhaps the most impressive discovery comes from the field of neuroscience. Recent research from the Max Planck Institute revealed that plants emit volatile compounds, invisible aromatic molecules, that interact directly with the human limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for emotions, memory, and states of consciousness. When Cayce saw the peace lily purifying negative energies, science now explains that this plant releases negative ions into the air, the same particles found in waterfalls and forests that make us feel refreshed and at peace. Studies show that environments rich in negative ions reduce anxiety, improve mood, and facilitate natural meditative states. The African violet, which Cayce saw opening the heart, produces aromatic compounds that stimulate the production of oxytocin, the famous love hormone responsible for feelings of connection, empathy, and emotional well-being. Researchers at Kyoto University documented that people exposed to the subtle aroma of African violets show greater activity in the brain region associated with compassion and altruism. The Sansevieria, seen by Cayce as an energetic guardian, was validated by NASA in studies on air purification. This plant not only removes physical toxins from the environment, but also releases oxygen during the night, a rare phenomenon among plants that literally creates a pure atmosphere for rest and regeneration. The pothos, which Native Americans used for emotional healing, contains compounds that stimulate neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural connections. This means that the presence of this plant can literally facilitate the healing of emotional traumas by promoting the formation of new, healthier neural patterns. Science has also discovered something Cayce intuited. Plants respond to human intention. Studies by Dr. Cleve Baxter, a pioneer in plant consciousness research, demonstrated that plants connected to electrical measurement equipment respond to the thoughts and emotions of nearby people. When someone approaches a plant with loving intention, the plant's electrical activity increases significantly. More recent research at the University of Bonn revealed that plants exposed to classical music or meditation exhibit more robust growth and greater production of beneficial compounds. This suggests that the communication between humans and plants that Cayce described is not metaphorical, but represents a real form of bioenergetic interaction. Now that you understand both the ancestral wisdom and the scientific validation, it's time to turn this knowledge into practical action. I'll teach you exactly how to position and care for each of these sacred plants to create a living mandala of consciousness in your own home. Starting with the peace lily, its ideal location is near the main entrance of your home, whether in the entryway, living room, or even the hallway leading to the bedrooms. The reason is simple. As an energetic purifier, it needs to be positioned where it can intercept the energies you bring from the outside world before they spread throughout the rest of the environment. Place your peace lily in a white or beige ceramic pot, never plastic. Ceramic allows the plant to breathe energetically, enhancing its purifying properties. Keep the soil slightly moist, but never soggy. The water you use also matters. If possible, use filtered water or let tap water sit for 24 hours before watering, allowing chlorine to evaporate. Here's a secret Cayce revealed. Talk to your peace lily. Every morning as you pass by it, pause for a moment and mentally or softly thank it for the purification it offers your home. This conscious communication exponentially amplifies its energetic properties. For the African violet, the ideal positioning is in the bedroom, specifically on the nightstand or a small table near the bed. This location allows its heart-opening properties to work while you sleep, facilitating healing dreams and promoting a morning awakening with greater compassion and emotional openness. African violets prefer bright, indirect light, never direct sun, which can burn their delicate leaves. Use a mister to maintain humidity around the plant, but avoid directly wetting the leaves. The secret to abundant blooming is consistency. They prefer a stable watering and light routine. Here's a powerful practice. Before bed, gently place your hands around the African violet, without touching it, and mentally share any hurt or resentment you might be carrying. Visualize these dense emotions being absorbed by the plant and transformed into flowers of forgiveness and love. The Sansevieria should be strategically positioned as a guardian, ideally in the corners of rooms, especially the bedroom and office. Always use odd numbers, 1, 3, or 5 plants, never even. This configuration creates what the ancients called an energetic protection triangle. Sansevierias are extremely tolerant, preferring dry soil between waterings. Water only when the soil is completely dry, usually every 2 to 3 weeks. Overwatering is the only fatal mistake you can make with this resilient plant. A powerful technique taught by Tibetan monks. When positioning your Sansevieria, consciously walk around it 3 times clockwise, mentally setting your intention of protection for that space. Repeat this ritual whenever you feel your environment needs extra energetic cleansing. The pothos should be positioned where its vines can grow freely, ideally on high shelves or hanging planters in the living room or family gathering area. Its hanging vines literally create an energetic healing net that permeates the entire environment. Pothos prefer indirect light and soil that is kept consistently lightly moist. A valuable tip: when the vines get too long, don't cut them all at once. Instead, make gradual prunings, always thanking the plant for its growth and asking it to continue expanding its healing energy through the space. Practice this adapted shamanic technique. Once a week, sit near your pothos and place your hands over your heart. Breathe deeply 3 times and mentally release any emotional trauma or pain you might be carrying to the plant's vines. Visualize that energy being absorbed and transformed into green, healthy growth. To enhance the effects of all these plants, establish a simple daily ritual. Every morning before starting your activities, take a gratitude round, briefly visiting each of your plant allies. It's not necessary to water or physically care for them every day, but rather to consciously acknowledge the presence and energetic work each one is doing for you. Remember, these plants are not just decoration. They are living technologies of consciousness, awaiting your attention and intention to fully activate their transformative potential in your life. But now I need to ask some questions that might completely change your perspective on your current spiritual life. Pause for a moment and reflect with me. When was the last time you truly felt at home within your own house? Not just physically comfortable, but spiritually nourished by the environment around you. Think about it. You spend approximately 70% of your life indoors. If these environments are energetically unbalanced or charged with dense frequencies, how is that affecting your soul day after day, week after week, year after year? What kind of person could you become if you lived in spaces that constantly elevated your vibration instead of draining it? Here's an even deeper question. Have you ever noticed that certain people drain your energy just by being near, while others make you feel revitalized and inspired? The same principle applies to environments. Is your home one of those places that drain or nourish your spiritual essence? Consider this reflection for a moment. How many times have you felt inexplicably anxious, depressed, or spiritually empty within your own home, even when everything in your life seemed to be going well? How many nights have you lain in bed, feeling disconnected from yourself, as if something invisible was sucking your vitality? These sensations are not imaginary. Edgar Cayce revealed that environments can accumulate what he called psychic impressions, energetic residues of emotions, thoughts, and experiences that occurred in that space over time. Imagine how many arguments, worries, fears, and frustrations have been absorbed by the walls of your home. Imagine how many sleepless nights, stressful days, and moments of despair have left their invisible energetic marks on the environments where you live. Now ask yourself this crucial question. What limitations in your life might be perpetually reinforced by persistent stagnant energies in your home? Perhaps your difficulty meditating isn't a lack of discipline, but the presence of chaotic mental frequencies imbued in your environment. Perhaps your tendency towards anxiety isn't just a personality trait, but a natural response to an energetically polluted space. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to radiate natural peace, while others live in constant internal turmoil, even having similar lives? The difference often lies in the energetic quality of the environments where they live and regenerate daily. Here's a reflection that can be transformative. If you could completely redesign the energy of your home, what version of yourself would naturally emerge from that harmonious environment? What dormant dreams could awaken? What latent spiritual capacities could flourish? Cayce taught that we are both products and creators of our environments. This means you have the power to break negative energetic cycles that may have been operating for years in your life, simply by consciously transforming the space where you live. But here's a question that might make you uncomfortable. Are you ready to take responsibility for the energy you allow to exist in your home? Are you willing to acknowledge that perhaps part of your spiritual and emotional challenges have environmental roots that you have the power to transform? Now we reach the moment to integrate all this knowledge into a unified understanding, what Edgar Cayce saw as a living mandala of consciousness that can transform any home into a sanctuary of spiritual growth. Each of these sacred plants doesn't work in isolation, but as part of an interconnected, energetic system that creates a harmonious symphony of elevated frequencies. Visualize your home as a living, energetic body. Just as the human body has different organs that work together to maintain overall health, your home can have different plant organs, each plant playing a specific function in maintaining the spiritual well-being of the entire environment. The peace lily functions as your home's immune system, constantly filtering and neutralizing dense energies that try to enter or accumulate in the environment. Strategically positioned at the entrance, it creates the first line of energetic defense, ensuring that negative influences from the outside world don't contaminate your personal sanctuary. The African violet operates as the emotional heart of the system, pumping frequencies of love, compassion, and emotional healing throughout the entire environment. Located in the bedroom, it works primarily during sleeping hours, when our psychological resistance is lower, and we are more receptive to deep healing of emotional traumas. The Sansevieria acts as the protective nervous system, a network of spiritual antennas that detect and repel negative energies while simultaneously channeling positive cosmic energy into the environment. Positioned in the corners of rooms, they create a mesh of protection that maintains the energetic integrity of each space. The pothos functions as the healing circulatory system, its hanging vines creating a distribution network that carries emotional healing energy to every corner of the environment. Like spiritual blood, it carries energetic nutrients wherever needed, facilitating the healing of old emotional wounds. But here's where the real magic happens. When these four plants are consciously positioned and cared for with loving intention, they begin to energetically communicate with each other, creating what the ancients called a morphogenic field, a field of information that influences everything within its reach. Imagine a musical quartet where each instrument has its own melody, but together they create a symphony that is much more powerful and beautiful than any single instrument playing alone. This is exactly what happens when you establish this plant mandala in your home. During the day, while you're active, the system works silently. The peace lily neutralizes the stress you bring from work. The African violet softens emotional tensions. The Sansevieria maintains a field of protection around your family, and the pothos distributes healing energy through all environments. During the night, while you sleep, the system intensifies its activity. The plants communicate through chemical and bioelectrical signals, coordinating their efforts to create the ideal environment for physical, emotional, and spiritual regeneration. It's like having an energetic spa running 24 hours a day in your home. Cayce saw that when this system is fully established and working in harmony, It creates what he called a portal of elevated consciousness, a state where the home naturally becomes conducive to meditation, spiritual insight, emotional healing, and soul growth. People living in environments with this plant mandala established report profound changes: more restorative sleep, more vivid and meaningful dreams, natural reduction in anxiety, increased creativity, improved family relationships, and a general sense of living in alignment with their higher purpose. The beauty of this system is that it becomes more powerful over time. As the plants grow and establish themselves, their energetic roots deepen, creating increasingly stable connections with the Earth's energy. As you develop more intimate relationships with each plant through conscious care, the communication between you becomes more refined and effective. We've reached the point where knowledge transforms into wisdom through conscious action. Everything you've discovered today will remain just interesting information unless you make the decision to directly experience this ancestral wisdom in your own life. Edgar Cayce always emphasized that the greatest spiritual truths cannot be understood merely intellectually. They must be lived, felt, and integrated through personal experience. Plants won't reveal their secrets to you through books or videos. They will share their wisdom only when you establish a real, living, and conscious relationship with them. So here's my invitation to you. In the next 7 days, make the decision to bring at least one of these sacred plants into your home, not as a casual experiment, but as a genuine commitment to your own spiritual transformation. Choose the plant that resonated most with you during our journey today. If you felt drawn to the peace lily, it's because your soul is asking for energetic purification. Perhaps you've been carrying heavy energies that aren't yours, or your environment needs a deep cleansing of accumulated psychic impressions. If the African violet touched your heart, it's because you're ready for deeper emotional healing. Perhaps it's time to release old hurts or open yourself to giving and receiving love more fully. If you connected with the Sansevieria, your soul is seeking protection and energetic strengthening. You might be going through a period where you need more spiritual stability and defense against negative influences. If the pathos caught your attention, you're in a process of healing traumas or significant emotional growth. Your soul is asking for support in this transformative process. But here's what's most important. When you bring your plant ally home, don't just treat it as decoration. Establish a welcome ritual. Consciously place it in its new position and mentally communicate your intention to work in partnership for the spiritual well-being of your home. Commit to conscious care. Don't just water and fertilize, but talk to your plant. Thank it for its presence. Share your worries and joys. Remember that you are establishing a relationship with a different, but real, form of consciousness. Keep an observation journal during the first few weeks. Note subtle changes in your mood, sleep quality, ease of meditation, or general feelings about your home's energy. Transformations may be gradual, but they will be real. And here's something crucial. Share this journey. Tell family and friends about what you're experiencing. Teach what you've learned. When you share spiritual wisdom, it multiplies and strengthens. If this video touched your soul, if you feel this wisdom can transform your life, leave a comment telling us which plant you chose and why it resonated with you. Subscribe to the channel to continue receiving knowledge that can illuminate your spiritual path. And share this video with someone you know needs this message. Remember, you didn't discover this information by chance. Your soul guided you here because you're ready for the next level of your spiritual growth. The plants are waiting for you. Your home is waiting to become the sanctuary you've always dreamed of. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like to get access to more stories like this. The future of your spiritual journey begins with the decision you make now. Choose to grow. Choose to transform. Choose to live in harmony with the loving intelligences that nature freely offers. Until our next meeting, may your home become a temple of peace and growth, and may every plant in your life be a door to higher dimensions of consciousness and love.